All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the W Radio Show. I'm your host, Richie King, the bad man of comedy, Redneck Pimp. Tonight we have a gentleman in studio. He's here live with us. Of course, we got Double Doc. Our commander's out today. It's Valentine's Day, and he's old, and he's got to do the same ritual he's been doing for 30 years. But I'm not going to. Hey, he's been married for a long time, so shut up and let it. That's just about the local school board and things. And not just our local school board around here, but all school boards. He's going to tell you about okay, they all act the same way, how they're elected and what they do. Not much, according to some people, but anyway. So that being said, I want to get on my rant real quick before I bring the boys on tonight. Listen, we've said it many times. When you come to work in a bad mood, then the situation is going to get worse for you. Good job. Do your job. Get some rest. Have a cigarette, whatever it is you do to make yourself go to work. Because I don't want to walk in somewhere and you're in a bad mood and set me in a bad mood because you're in a bad mood because you didn't get enough rest the night prior. Okay? Go to bed, get some rest, do your thing. All right, that's all I got today. All right, let's bring in the boys. Oh, real quick, Dean Cerny, how you doing, brother? Thanks for joining in. We appreciate you very much. He's a Navy veteran. He was just like a Marine. He's a Navy corpsman. Y'all know him very well. Catch him on the VRS network. He does the bar every Saturday night. Also, he's on here, a host on here for the rest of the season. He joined up again. So please welcome our friend and your friend, Double Doc. What's up, brother? How you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing? Hey, how about your Chiefs, brother?
All right. Chiefs. Yeah, I don't care what anybody says. Who called this from day one?
You did.
This guy. That's right. Of course, I know a lot about football, so sue me. All right, guys. Man, it's an honor to welcome this next guy. Heath Gilbert is his name. He's a Navy vet, so we got two Navy and a Marine on here. Surely nothing can go wrong, should it? He's damage control, a.k.a. a firefighter. All right. So please give a big welcome to Heath. Yep, she wants to blink at him. Oh, well, he's there. He is. Ooh. There he goes. All right. Technical issues. They kill me. Heath, welcome, brother, to W Radio Show.
Thank you.
How you doing?
Very well. Glad to be here.
Glad to be. Listen, we're glad to have you here. You got some important things you want to talk about today. And listen, guys, if you got anybody in school, whether it's elementary school, middle school, high school, even college, you won't pay attention today for some information you probably didn't know nothing about. Now, he's here in studio. He's joining me. He's going to talk a little bit about the school board, the local school board. And there's some issues going on, and they're breaking the law. They're breaking the Constitution of whatever state they're in. And so, without further ado, Heath, tell us a little bit about why you're here. Well, sir.
We had Cameron for 13 years now. My wife has worked for other school districts, and our children, as a perk of employment, has gone to school in other cities with my wife. We were in Kansas City last year, and there was a lot of violence going on in the school. There was literal blood in the hallways almost every day in some of these high schools. And we decided, you know what, we need to come back to Cameron, a little smaller community, get away from that insanity and get back to a little bit of normalcy. Excuse me. We started the enrollment process for a sophomore at the high school here, and with that came a lot of paperwork. And we saw something new that we hadn't seen before, and it was a mandatory drug testing policy for all of the kids to be able to participate in anything. Well, I say mandatory, but if you're in an extracurricular activity or a club or even to park on the school parking lot, you have to submit to this random drug testing that's done every month. And hadn't seen that before, so I started to ask questions, and then I started getting stonewalled. Folks refused to answer questions for me. The administration at the high school was told by the superintendent's office, don't answer Mr. Gilbert's questions about the drug scene. So because I couldn't get answers, I started pulling public record Missouri Sunshine Law request and started looking into the actual policies. And in the process of looking through these policies, all kinds of stuff.
Okay,
I'm not,
let me. I don't know what the Sunshine Law is.
okay,
Okay,
it's
go ahead.
It's like a Freedom of Information Act. It
Okay.
allows us in the state of Missouri to access public records from a public entity.
And they can't do anything about it. According to this law, they have to give up the information.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Yeah. So the drug testing policy, I had a lot of concerns and a lot of questions about it because I believe that the policy as it is currently written and enforced at the Cameron School District is discriminatory in nature. They do not apply it equally to everything, and they are arbitrarily picking which privileges they're going to take away from the children. And 2 examples. Riding the school bus is a privilege, so is parking a private vehicle on the school parking lot. They take away the privilege of parking in the school parking lot for a child that does not have a signed consent form by the parents. They can't park on the school parking lot, but they still get the privilege to ride on the bus. The Cameron School District currently, and I think that they've pulled away from it because I raised such a fuss about it, but my child would not be able to attend the football game that played at home because my wife and I did not consent to the random drug testing at the school district. They told her several times, and the district confirmed it to me when I went into the high school. If you do not sign away your daughter's due process protection and allow us to drug test her, she cannot go to those sporting events that are open to the entire public. Anybody that pays $5 can walk in that gate and sit down and watch that football game. But my child would not be able to go because we refused to surrender her due process protections.
You have a couple people commenting on here. Dean Sturdy, huge fan of ours. We love the guy. He says, and this comes from Ohio. He lives in Ohio. They drug test all athletes there.
Right.
Okay. And he also said, you came back and said, hell, he said, I got it in high school. I didn't even drink then. I don't think we're harping on the actual rule. I think you want it consistently and fair to everybody.
Correct.
Okay. How does the drug testing, or how's this conform to the COVID vaccination that some kids want? Some kids went to school didn't want, was either forced to school,
Take the COVID vaccine?
Yes.
I don't know.
Don't know.
I don't know. I have not looked into that. All I know is the drug testing policy.
I heard that same thing. They're making them give up their due process, which is your rights, guys. Your rights is what it is. Okay. You have a right to buck anything you want to buck. You don't have to follow these things. You got to give up certain things to do that in some places.
Understand. Yep. And I agree with that.
But it's got to be fair for everybody. And it's not. Okay. The thing is, you get these school board members who think, who are flexing, thinking they run things. Would you educate everybody real quick about the process of becoming a school board member and what that?
Well, here in Missouri, you file in the month of December, and then you get put onto the ballot for the election that occurs in April. And there are a few qualifications. You can't have a criminal record, particularly anything to do with a child. You can't have a lawsuit against the state or the school district, rather. And beyond that, there's not a lot of qualifications other than you get more than the other person.
And has it been your experience with the school board, with the drug test, and anything else you dealt with, that they're not following the Missouri state constitution or the constitution of any state? Is that true?
That is absolutely true. I have found several policies that they're not following the Constitution of the United States. They're not following Missouri law. They're not even following their own policy. And you mentioned fair a little bit ago. Please don't let me forget. I want to mention the fairness. And their policy, their drug testing policy requires a student submits a urine test at the high school. There is a random process, and I've looked into it, and I believe it is truly random. But in the event that a child submits a urine sample, they test it on site, and they conduct a rapid test. And even in their own policy, they call this, if the results are a positive result, they don't call it a positive because of the high level of inaccuracy of the test. They call it a non-negative test. By their policy, they are required to take a non-negative test result and send it to a second laboratory for verification. They do another rapid test, and that rapid test is done by a second laboratory. In the event of a non-negative test, they are required by their policy to conduct a gas chromatograph mass spectrometry test. And those are very accurate. It is similar to like a DNA sample in a court of law. The Cameron School District is not doing the gas chromatograph test. They are only doing the 2 rapid tests, which are wildly and inherently inaccurate. And they are presenting this to the parents saying your child is positive on this for the drug. And then they're holding the parents and the child responsible for 2 tests which are inherently inaccurate, and they're not following their own policy. The administrators at the high school that conduct the test not following the policy. The principal is not ensuring that the policy is followed, and the superintendent's office here behind me is also not ensuring that that policy is followed. I have had discussions with the superintendent. He is unconcerned that he doesn't know what tests are really being conducted.
It'd be funny, but it's sad.
It is sad.
I mean, it's funny, but it's sad because school. What's the next step? I mean, if nobody listened to you, what's your plan of attack? What are you going to do next? Where do you go?
I go here. I come on a show like this. I reach out and try to educate the public, let the folks in the community know what's going on, and get them to show up with me at a school board meeting to say, hey, folks, we got concerns about your drug testing policy. We have concerns the way that it is implemented, the way that you're enforcing it, the way you're selectively enforcing it, and that you're not following the policy, which is approved by the board. Right. And they have been told you're not following your own policy, and they just don't care.
No, they don't. And I'll tell you something. My daughter the other day called up her. It's a sick time of year around here. Kids are missing school. Some of my grandkids have missed a little more than others. Probably I don't know the exact count, but anyway, my daughter calls up and my daughter. I got one daughter's got an IQ of about 140. I can't talk to her. She's so smart. Right. Her and my wife have a conversation, but I'm dumb. But she called me and said, "Hey, Dad, check this out." I called the school. And I told him, look, my 2 boys are going to have doctor's notes, okay? And so they need to be excused. They flat told her they don't care about doctor's note. It holds no levy with them, okay? If they want to get her in trouble, they can do it. She said, well, okay, you want to be rude? I don't care either. I don't have to have nothing.
Right.
She said, don't forget, you work for me.
Right.
Okay? She said, my boys go to that school. They're in good standards. They're both smart. They're getting A's and B's. She said, don't be rude to me. Okay, because I'll come up in there. She wouldn't have, but she was just trying, back and forth. Right. I said, well, according to school board, she goes, again, I don't care about according to school board. State law says I have a doctor's note. There's nothing you can do.
Right.
And she flat laid it out to them. And they didn't like that. And I don't really care if they liked it because my daughter was right.
Correct.
It's true. The school board can't make laws over the state law, and they do it anyway. The school board's been doing this shit for a long time.
Correct. And they don't even make a law. They call it a policy.
Policy. Yeah, they can't policy a law. They can't.
No.
They can do it. I had a haircut one time. I'm part Native American. So the summer of 88, all right, we were doing a cleansing. So I just cut my hair into a V in the back, a real haircut. Okay. And I went to school. Oh, and they tried to throw me out of school. Okay. My uncle's like, no, you can't throw me out of school. Well, I approve his haircut. He goes, I don't give a shit what you approve. These are my white uncles. Okay. They're like, we don't care. We don't care at all. That's him. Right. And finally, they got the school board in there, and one of the ladies in the school board was like, well, "We're here for a haircut. We can't. What are you talking about?" Yeah. First of all, it's his religious right to do that. Okay. Right. Like, well, we don't honor religion. She goes, yes, we do. If you don't know what you're talking about, she goes, maybe you ought to keep quiet. That was the school board member telling the damn principal and the superintendent that. But it took 2 days to get this out, and I was being penalized for the work I didn't get done. Okay, for this crap. That's in 1988, and I was in high school.
I was just going to ask, and how long ago was that? And it has not gotten better since.
No, because now they want to. My uncle had my nephew didn't want to go to school. He got to that age where he don't need school anymore. My uncle would take him to school off. Take him to school, drop my uncle got tired of it. He said, whatever. The law came out, and they told him, you have to take him to school. He said, by any means necessary. My uncle said, well, if I whip his ass, you're going to arrest me for child abuse. Okay. And if I take him and he runs off, what do you want me to do? Because he'd take him to the front door of school. He'd run around the back and take off when my uncle left. Okay. My uncle spent a couple of days in school. He went and sat with him in the class. Okay. Tried to embarrass him. And, the embarrassing thing, right? Well, that stopped. So anyway, the judge threw my uncle in jail for a week. Let him out. He didn't turn through my aunt in jail for a week. Let her out. My uncle said, okay, if I'm going to sit in jail, I'm whipping his ass. My uncle whooped his ass. He had him drive off the 4-way stop in a small town of Jasper, Missouri, and whooped his butt from the 4-way all the way down to the school, which was quite a long ways.
That's
okay.
quite the job.
Now, they tried to arrest him, put a big case on him. He sat back to a judge and said, what do you want me to do, judge? I don't abuse my son, but what do you want me to do? You throw me in jail when I don't do something. You throw me in jail when I do something. None of this other stuff works. Time out. Well, we're rednecks. Time out the redneck, you go fishing.
Right.
And school board was up in arms. Now, they were up in arms. The kid wasn't going to school. And up in arms when he was going to school.
Make up our minds.
What the hell? They start taking the power out of the parents' hands long ago when I was a kid, and I seen it, and it hasn't got any better. They take the power away from you, tell you what you can't do. Say you can't teach your kid about a president they like, but they could come in and wearing a Joe Biden flag or any other flag for that you don't agree with. You can't do nothing about it because you are in school. Okay, they haven't got any better. In fact, they got worse. And now they got all this politicalization going on. Democrats, Republicans. Hey, listen, they're all bad. Anybody on that school board don't care. Don't care what class or politician they are. They suck.
If they are allowing the stuff that we are seeing in our school district, I agree with you. You can't be on the school board and be okay with the nonsense that we're seeing. You can't.
No, you can't. They're taking their checks and not earning them.
Well, they don't even get paid for it. They're doing it for the prestige.
I'm talking about the school teachers and all that stuff. Yeah,
okay.
Because it's all big.
Yeah,
it's all a big deal, right? Yeah. They put teachers in there they want in there.
Yes,
teachers are taking checks. Listen, I'm for teachers. Don't get me wrong. I think if you want to clean up some things, pay these people. Okay, they make enough money to take care of our kids. We give them a pencil and $5 so here take care of our kids.
Right.
Okay, it's a hard job being a teacher. I got no doubt. They got to be a babysitter, a nurturer, a learner, and all that.
They're not spending the money in the right places.
They're not. But be okay. Don't be the parent. That's our job. Right. We got this.
Right. Okay. Have you heard the word, the term they like to use now is co-parent?
Yeah.
Buzzword, and we've been hearing it in the different school districts that my wife has been working at, and it drives me crazy. No, they have no parental right over my child.
Roy, real quick, he's not to interrupt you, really, because we're conversation going on. One of our guys, Roy Anthony, he's by the way, he's one of our hosts on this network. He does a show every Tuesday and every Thursday at noon, Missouri time. He runs about an hour. Great guy. He's got different points of view and things. Got a good following too. Maybe you can contact him sometime when I get the word out too.
Outstanding.
He's got a question. How do you feel about removing history from schools?
If you don't know your history, you're doomed to repeat the past. And we have got to know our history. And we need to know the real history, the true history, not the selective history that they're picking because it pushes an agenda. We need to know our real history.
Right, we do. My grandkids are getting to the age. Okay, they're studying lightly. They're not hitting on all hard topics yet, but about Native Americans in this country, for example. And I'm going to speak on this because I'm the only Native American on here, I believe. They come and ask me questions, but Papa, that's not what we were taught in school. I said, you're going to teach somebody who doesn't know, wasn't there. You listen to somebody who has had ancestors. It tells them how things have happened.
Right.
Could my ancestors be lying? Could, but why would they? They tell me about the bad. Why would they lie?
Right.
So who you gonna believe? Like I had one kid tell me that all Indians lived in teepees. That's not true. Dude, the Plains Indians lived in teepees. Cherokee, where I'm from, they built little houses, little mud huts, little houses, and that because they were stationary. They wasn't nomad. They didn't roam around, but they wouldn't teach you this stuff. So when I tell them this, they go back and they say, "Oh no, that's not it. That's not it. Your grandfather doesn't know."
It's his heritage.
Look at the skin color. Yes, I know.
He grew up hearing the stories. He has the family, but he's wrong. He doesn't know.
Yeah, and you see that a lot. A lot of these transgender conversations. Now, for the record, ain't nobody on here on W Radio or my network or any network that we broadcast on are going to make fun of anybody what we're going to say. I'm not making fun of them. You want to do you, do you. What I'm going to say is this. These schools, which is approved by the school board, their curriculum about teaching our kids when some of these kids ain't even stopped sucking their thumb yet. I'm going to teach them about being happy in your body or not happy in your body, and your mom and dad can't tell you. Okay? That's going on rapid rate, not just Missouri, but all over.
Right.
They don't have the right.
No.
They don't.
No.
So my question to you is why, if they don't have the right, how are they getting away with it? And why for so long?
Okay.
What's your thoughts?
I have an answer for you. I have been looking into this a little bit as of late. There is, and forgive me, I didn't come in prepared to speak on this, but there is a American School Counselors Association, ASCA, and it is involved in all of the schools throughout the United States now. There is government funding that is putting counselors and social workers in all of our schools. And these counselors and the social workers are going through training in how to help our children.
Right.
They're redefining words and inclusion. It means something different to them than it does to you and I. To them, inclusion means we are promoting that lifestyle because we believe that you are a girl that was born a boy. They believe these things. And that they're changing the words. They are changing the definitions of things that you and I use on a day-to-day basis. And they're using these words when they're talking to the parents, when they're in the school board meetings, they're using these words and we're hearing them. And we are thinking of the traditional definition of the words that you and I have grown up hearing, when in reality, they're changing the definition. And two of them that I think that are really dangerous is safe and, oh, doggone it, what's the other one? Oh, abuse. By ASCA and these folks that are in our schools, abuse, a parent is abusive if they do not confirm to that third grader when they come home and Bobby says, "Mom, Dad, my name's really Mary." If mom and dad don't accept that Bobby is really Mary now, the school district believes that that is abuse. And the Cameron School District has a policy in place. They are allowed to have discussions with our children, and they are not under any obligation to tell us that they've had that discussion.
Hold it right there.
Okay.
I've heard you, and for the record, your voice is getting out. Travis Eldridge, a friend of both of ours, his wife or his daughter, Leah, was killed. And we did a thing for him, his benefit. Yep. His wife. He recommended that you come on here, Vincent.
Yes.
Vincent, you were on his show here not long ago.
Correct.
And I watched a little bit of that, and the word is getting out. By the way, you're getting some traction, and the wheels are moving slow, but you know how the bureaucracy wheels move slow.
Yes.
Okay. What you just covered there, I don't explain that one more time. I want that to be driven home.
Okay. I can use part of a story that I've heard and a fact for the Cameron School District and some fiction to really drive this home for folks. There was an incident at the high school where a teacher was alleged to have been in the classroom to the high school students, pushing the transgender ID on the kids. And so the kids walked out of there and they've been exposed to this now. And I know they learn it other places, but there was a teacher,
Right.
somebody that they trust, that has kind of pushed the idea and said that this is okay and has encouraged the behavior. The Cameron School District now has their own social worker. And that social worker has access to every keystroke that's made by every student on every school issued computer. And it's not an aggregate data. So it's not generic 8th grade students or 4th grade students. They can find the specific words that a student has typed in by each student. So that social worker can go in, get on a computer and run a search of all the work that's been done on the computer and look for keywords. So again, the example of the teacher that is pushing the idea or promoting the idea of transgender to the students. That student walks out of that classroom, and again, this is a fictional thing here, but and I've heard this other places, that's why I'm saying it. If the student has heard, if you are a girl and you are not happy with it, you're probably a transgender boy. Student walks out of the classroom, gets on her school computer, uses the school to search for the keyword, am I transgender? That social worker can see that. Social worker can then, because that search is identifiable by the student, can then pull that student into an office and sit down with them and say, hey, I want to talk to you about this. And in that discussion, again, we're going back to what I said earlier about ASCA. If a parent does not confirm these gender identity crisis things that's going on with these kids, they consider it abuse. So that social worker could ask, and could ask, well, what do your parents think about this? Oh, mom and dad are pretty conservative. That social worker at that point, and because of the policy that is in Missouri school districts, is not required to notify the parents that they have had that discussion with their child. And that social worker can then say, because they have been taught that that is abuse, if the parents don't accept what these children feel, they tell the student it's okay, this can be just between you and I.
Here's where I draw the line with it. Okay. My grandkids go to school and say, they won't say I'm conservative. They'll say, just say I'm redneck. They'll automatically assume we hate everybody, which is far from the truth.
Right.
You know, there's some outstanding rednecks out there that probably need to run for office and help clean a little bit of this shit up around here. Okay. So we've got the drug testing is not being done right.
Correct.
We got people teaching our kids what we teaching our kids.
Correct.
What do we do? I mean, we could have all our shows. We can do what we need to do. We can march on them, whatever. If we march on them, they think you're hateful and try to get you arrested and all this crap.
Mm-hmm.
Even though you have a right to peaceful protest.
Yep.
We're all about on here, events, right to peaceful protest. We fought for that right.
Correct.
Peaceful protest all you want. You start burning shit, then you're an idiot.
Correct.
But it's a peaceful protest. We want time to keep eating. Go ahead, brother. Hell, I'll come stand with you. But what are we going to do? Because nothing seems to be, they don't care.
They don't care. We've got to get people going to those school board meetings. We've got to get good folks to run for the school board and get these knuckleheads out.
Mm-hmm.
When I recently have just started going to school board meetings, so I am at fault for this too. We have been enjoying the freedoms that we have, but we've not been fulfilling our obligation to the responsibility for those freedoms.
Mm-hmm.
We've got to start going to these type of meetings, not
Right.
just the school board, city councils too.
Mm-hmm.
We can't affect what's going on in Washington, D.C. You and I can affect what's going on in our own little town.
Mm-hmm.
And I am going to start by going to these school board meetings, start speaking. And if we can get 15 or 20 parents in there and they're all lockstep that this needs to end, then the board is going to start to listen. But when I am the only parent in the room and I have just 3 minutes to try to convey an idea, they're not interested. And if you watch the videos of the school board for Cameron, there's folks that are on computers doing whatever. They're not even listening to the folks that are addressing the board. They're
Right
not
there.
interested.
Right there, that comment. Sorry, Heath, I didn't mean to interrupt you, brother.
Yep.
Roy Anthony, again, one of my good friends on here. Whether it's right or wrong, I'm going to discipline that teacher. Telling my child they don't have to tell a parent is close to pedophiles. That's a grooming technique. And I was a victim of that. So I hate it. I don't take kindly to it.
Gotcha.
That's a grooming technique. Okay. Don't want to keep secrets from the parents. What else are you trying to do?
Right.
Okay. I take exception to that. Thank you, Roy, for putting that on there. And that is exactly what I feel they're doing.
Yes. And the policy that says they don't have to tell the parent, and this is going to be in probably any Missouri school district that follows the Missouri Sport Association, which is the majority of them. They are not even obligated. If I send a letter to the school district and say, you may not discuss these items with my child.
Yeah.
They're not obligated to follow that as per their policy. They also don't have to notify me even if I send the letter, say, you have to tell me that you're going to have possession with my child. The policy for the school district here in Cameron and throughout the state of Missouri, most of them will say they're under no obligation to do that. They can do whatever they want with our child while they're in their school.
Right. And that's been going on for a long time. I used to fight once in a while. I don't know if you believe that or not, but I used to break a law once in a while.
Okay.
I'd go home from school, I'd whip somebody's ass. As long as I didn't do it on school property, it shouldn't have mattered. Right. They came back and tried to tell me, no, we own you until you get to your house. I said, well, what if I go from school to work? You own me then?
Right.
And well, no. So you only own me if I'm going home. No, once I get off school property, and they fought me on that, and I fought back, and then there was actually no real rule that said, because they can't.
Right.
They can't. And one of the things, my grandkids come home and I got this word, I don't know where they got it, but everything's, that's satisfying. That's satisfying. They learn that in school. That's satisfying. That just drives me. It might not be nothing. It might be something, I don't know, but it just drives me. That's satisfying. And everybody get involved in this still. No matter if you got kids in school or not, if you pay school tax, you have the right to your opinion.
Absolutely.
I want to make sure everybody understands that. I know it's probably said out there saying, well, I ain't got no kids in school. It don't make no difference. You get that personal property tax form every year. Okay. And has school on there and ambulance on there and all that stuff. You have a right to voice your opinion about anything you're paying on.
Correct.
Okay. That's what we need to do. Roy's on a roll. Him and Dean are on a roll here. We need to do a modern day Harper Valley PTA. Well, I'll tell you something though. If a guy like me walked up into school, they would automatically call the police. Because I'd walk in and shut the door, even though I'm being quiet, talking to the principal. 6-foot redneck in there. Oh my goodness. Oh man. Right. So then we have to go that way. But I would go up in there. I would have no problem doing it if I had to. So you can't go up in and talk to them. You can't talk to them school boards. One of the best. My grandpa always told me this. He said, "Look, if you're gonna, he said, you need to quit fighting. If someone offends you or someone is hurting you and enough to hit him where it counts." I said, "Right in the nose." He goes, "You're an idiot. Not in the nose. Hit him in the pocketbook."
Right.
We start adjusting their pay. We start not paying the school tax. I bet you we start seeing a result.
If enough people did, they would absolutely have no choice.
50 people didn't pay their school tax. Just 50. Bet you'd see a change just with 50 people because that's a lot of tax.
That is a lot of tax.
And some counties are only here in Missouri. Some counties are worth a hell of a lot more. Okay, I live in Davies County, right? But I pay the Hamilton school tax because where I live. Okay, I got a Hamilton address, but I live in Davies County. Caldwell County is taxes than Davies County.
Right.
So if I didn't pay the school tax over there,
right.
Now I feel bad when the schools get shot up. I do. I think that's stupid when you protect our kids. Okay.
Yep.
Now these school boards are saying we don't want to put parents with guns in there or veterans with guns, something like that. Some of these schools don't even want to put locks on the door. At least Hamilton, Missouri. I'll give these guys credit for something. It is locked. You couldn't fart and get the fart out of school, okay?
Right.
And they got cameras, and you got to buzz in, you got to buzz out. No doors are open without somebody knowing about it, okay? That's a small town. Why can't these bigger schools do that same damn thing? Yeah, I mean, Does it take that much common sense? It doesn't take much to upgrade these. People are like, well, we need $900 a door. Well, why you need $900 a door? No, you don't. Put these automatic locks on the camera on there, buzz in and buzz out. If a parent wanted to come in and start yelling at them, you couldn't get in because you had to buzz in.
Right.
But neither can an idiot with a gun. Okay, why can a little town in a little rural area afford to do that, but these bigger towns can't do it?
I don't accept that they're spending millions of dollars on projects that are needs and not wants.
Thank you. Thank you.
Excuse and not needs.
Thank you.
And if we would get back into, I understand that towns grow and they need to upgrade schools, and sometimes it's necessary to build a new school, but you don't have to have the Taj Mahal as a school.
No,
you don't. You can save money, build a logical, easy to maintain building that will be easy to add on to in 20 years when the town has grown again,
mm-hmm.
and save a little money for the taxpayer and pay the teachers more so that we get a higher quality teacher in and we can raise our ACT scores.
Well, Hamilton's got they got a very good, it was an accelerated
Yes.
school.
Yes.
I know a lot of politicians and a lot of people come out of there
Yep.
and did some great, amazing things.
I went to high school there. I graduated
Yep.
from
Well,
Hamilton.
so you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
It's an amazing school. But I've also seen some idiots come out of these other schools around here because they don't want to pay. They don't want to pay. If you want to better anything, you got to pay for it. You just really do. You want better police, write a check. Train them. So they're all on the same page. I've said many times on here, so it was Devil Doc, Roy Anthony, Dean Cerny. We've all said the same thing. You could ask 3 cops, 3 same questions, and get 9 different answers.
Correct. Right.
Because they're interpreting, instead of telling what the law is, they're giving you what they're feeling the law is. Can't do that.
They're not feelings enforcement. They're law enforcement.
Yeah, they can't do that.
They
Can't do
can't
that.
even tell you what the Constitution says.
What they don't know is this. You can actually sit out in your front yard and drink a cold beer in your front yard.
Mm-hmm.
And nothing they can do about it. They tell you open container. You better look at the law, gentlemen, because some states don't even have an open container law. Can't even spell open container. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
They won't have an open container because Anheuser-Busch 20-something years ago went to federal court because they were getting hit in the revenue.
Right.
Okay. They said, whoa. If they're on their property or the property they're renting, if you're paying out, you own it. Okay.
Yep.
And they can't do that. They said, well, what about DWI? I said, okay, if he's inside his own car, as long as the driver ain't drinking, can't do anything about that either. And so some towns, now these cities make laws to trump state. State makes laws to trump the government, the federal government. It's
Our Constitution of the United States includes the supremacy clause.
right.
The Constitution is the supreme law of the land.
Say that again.
Is the supreme law of the land. The United States Constitution is the supreme law of the land.
That's right.
You cannot create a law that trumps the Constitution. You can't do it.
they do it all the time.
They do.
And they can't. And also, states have a secondary. States can govern themselves too. It says, and I don't know the technical word, but they can govern themselves, make laws. So if the state of Missouri makes a law, and then the county makes another law. People forget about counties. Counties make their laws.
Mm-hmm.
Then the states went over to the county. What the hell, man? We're not getting nowhere. If you got a Democratic person in one and a Republican here, they're bumping damn heads. It's like the mayor of Kansas City and the governor. They ain't getting. At least they got enough sense to work together,
Right.
have some sort of relationship. But they do it all the time. They make laws. They trump other laws. You can't do it. You can't do it. Like open policy. If you're inside the city limits, I had a cop tell me inside the city limits, Hamilton, they had that policy. I said, no, sir, they don't. The state law says there is no open container. Well, we got one inside the county. So you can't trump state law. State law can't trump federal. They said, boy, that's not even a rule. It says in the Constitution.
Right.
But they tell you it's dumb. So if you got people that are in these positions of power, and I would say they're that damn dumb, but I will say they're that damn dumb. If you can't look it up, if it's your job to know a policy and you can't look it up, then you are that damn dumb. You're either doing it on purpose, which you're part of the problem, right? Like I said on casino, you either know it, you're part of the problem, or you don't know it, you're part of the problem.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's no two ways about it. I agree entirely.
We're going to take a small pause, guys. Again, I want to thank Heath Gilbert, man, quickly becoming a friend of W Entertainment. We appreciate you coming in.
Thank you.
And I understand you got some other issues. I'd love to have have you in here again for some more shows, for some other issues you got pending out there.
Outstanding. Would love to.
We'll get back to this here in just a second. We want to do some of our memes. We ain't got very many today because of the guest. Make sure we had an opportunity to talk to him. And then we'll get right into our week, which is quickly becoming a funny-ass episode. But first, what is it? This is your what is it? It's today's the last day of the what is it? Okay. It's your last day of the what is it? Now, if anybody out there wants to donate to W Entertainment, comedy vets, anything like that, I got a little deal for you. This is up to you. I'm not telling you have to donate. I'm not even going to beg you. If you feel like the need to want to donate from your house, here's a tab that you can donate. Greatly appreciate it. If not, that's okay to you. Just hit that with your phone on your camera, and it come up and it give you instructions on what to do there. Okay. If it don't work, let me know. But this is the new rave. And, whoo, I'm getting newfangled on everybody. Wow. Okay. Devil Duck, which one of these do you want to remove?
I'm removing the fish
macaroni
because
and cheese, and chicken.
I'm keeping the mac and cheese. The only way I'm ever going to remove mac and
Okay.
cheese is if somebody puts breading on top of their mac and cheese. That's some really good looking collard greens right there. And I'm mouth watering over fried chicken over here. So get rid of the fish.
Okay. All right. Heath, you're a guest, sir. You go
I'd
ahead.
have to do the same thing. The fish is gone. If I got rid of the greens, my wife would disown me and would probably never cook again. And mac and cheese and chicken are running through my veins probably at this very moment. That's a staple at my house.
Well, I'm going to be the different one. I'm keeping the fish. I love fish. Me and part native, we eat a lot of fish. Macaroni and cheese, that's a fat man in me. I got to have the macaroni and cheese. Okay. Chicken, love chicken. So I'm getting rid of the collard greens because it's healthy and I just want to be different. But you guys comment and tell us what you think about that. Let's see the comments here real quick. See who Dean Center says the greens. Okay. All right. Yeah, I know what do you put on there? I know what it is. I'm tired of writing my name, so it is Snow. End up passing kidney stones instead. No, I will announce at the end of the show what it is if I don't get an answer on the what is it. All right, get back to memes here. A couple cavemen had a conversation. Why is it we never seem to be completely awake? Because we live in BC times. What's BC times? Before coffee. Yeah, that's my wife loves that. That's her. All right, you don't smoke around gas pumps, right? We've heard that since we were little kids. But this day and age, what happens if this happens?
Yep. Nope.
And they thought smoking a gas pump was risky. I guess you'd be trying to get to the next place quicker, huh? Next charging. There's a lot of charging stations right there. Red lightning rod. That tower's a lightning rod. No, I believe I'm passing on that deal. Thank you very much. Okay. We've been doing a lineage on here, trying to find the tracking. Okay. I found another one today. I found another brother.
I was born at a very young age.
I mean, stop this planet. I want to get off.
The sad thing is, these people are voting. All right, what else we got here? Oh, now that the house is different, you got a lot of question and answer going on about Twitter. Okay, some of the crap that Twitter's pulled, and so we got a lot of Congress asking questions
of you. Where did you go to medical school?
I did not go to medical school.
I'm sorry.
I did not go to medical school.
That's what I thought. Why do you think you or anyone else at Twitter had the medical expertise to censor a doctor's expert opinion?
Our policies regarding COVID were designed to protect individuals. We were seeing
You guys censored Harvard-educated doctors, Stanford-educated doctors, doctors that are educated in the best places in the world, and you silenced those voices. My next question is, did the U.S. government, I have another chart I want to show you, Ms. Gaddy. I have another tweet by someone with a following of a full 18,000 followers. This person put a chart from the CDC on Twitter. It's the CDC's own data, so it's accurate by your standards. And you all labeled this as misleading. You're not a doctor, right, Ms. Gaddy?
No, I'm not.
Okay. What makes you think you or anyone else at Twitter have the medical expertise to censor actual, accurate CDC data?
I'm not familiar with these particular situations.
Yeah, I'm sure you're not.
They like that policy word, don't they?
Yes, they love
That's
that
what you were
policy
hitting on a
word.
while ago.
Yeah.
You had no idea what I had on here for today.
No.
You hit the nail right on the head. If that's what you're talking about, I don't know what else does. Policy. It's my policy not to whip somebody's stupid ass. How about that?
Mm-hmm.
That's good policy. Here's a
That's
couple
fair
more
policy.
of Twitter's. It's been a good policy so far. Okay, let's help me stay married and stay.
I'll ask again. Did you shadow ban my account? Yes or no?
Again, not to the best of my recollection.
So the answer is, Mr. Roth, yes, you did. I found out last night from Twitter staff that you suppressed my account for this tweet. It's a freaking joke about Hillary Clinton being angry that she couldn't rig her election. It's a joke, but in response, being the sinister overlords that you all are, you placed a 90-day account filter so I could not be found. And now we see here that Twitter staff said the visibility filter on my account excluded me from top searches, prevented notifications for non-followers, and much more. This is considered an aggressive visibility filter. You silenced members of Congress from communicating with their constituents. You silenced me from communicating with the American people over a freaking joke. Now, who the hell do you think that you are? Election interference? Yeah, I would say that was taking place because of you four sitting here. The Hunter Biden laptop story was suppressed. A sitting member of Congress was suppressed. A sitting president was banned from Twitter. You know, I bet that Putin is sitting in the Kremlin wishing he had as much election interference as you four here today. We've heard about threats to democracy. Well, what about shutting down a duly elected member of Congress? This is fundamental to our nation's governance, and you all attacked that very foundation. 230 protections? Well, those are for publishers, not for editors. And it's clear you were not acting as publishers, you were acting as editors. And Mr. Chairman, I think it's far past time that we remove 230 protections for big tech platforms who are abusing this protection. And let me just say, I'm not angry for myself. I'm not angry because I was silenced. I can reach out to Elon and to his staff, and I can see what's happened. And I can sit here today and hold you all in account. I am angry for the millions of Americans who were silenced because of your decisions, because of your actions, because of your collusion with the federal government. They can't reach out to Elon. They can't sit here today and hold you into account. We don't know where the FBI ends and Twitter begins. But I do want to thank Elon Musk for firing you four and saving free speech and even Twitter. Mr. Chairman, I yield.
There's that policy word again.
Please explain.
She didn't.
That's been happening. Is that policy word again? Also, did you catch another word I'd like to use? Filter.
Mm-hmm.
They tell you about, well, I need a certain filter. Well, you got a fish tank? I think filter, I'm thinking fish tank or car, right?
Yeah.
People don't pay attention to words that's being used out here, guys. We're not. And we're all here at fault. Listen to what they say, okay? make sure that you're clear what they say. I know people have a hard time understanding me. Sometimes I talk fast. I leave out words. I speak two languages. I'm sorry. It doesn't hurt to ask a question, because if you don't ask a question, you can't pull the thing. Knowledge is power, because people don't care. People don't care about your knowledge and your power. All right. Well, maybe. What the hell? He says, but they allowed child porn.
I'm going to pick some donuts up on my way home.
Just because of him, donut sales went up 20%.
Yep.
All right, this next guy. Sorry about that, guys. We're having computer issues here. But this next guy, he's kind of true. It's kind of true. I treat my grandkids better than I do my kids. Okay, because I don't, shit they did when they were kids, we're paying them back. But here's this guy's story.
You know who's fake? Grandparents. Y'all were so fake. When we was kids, y'all was damn near drill sergeants. We couldn't do nothing without getting our ass tore up. We look at y'all the wrong way, smack. Then you sit us out on the porch Saturday morning, tell us don't come back in your house until the street lights come on. Not there one time did you worry about us getting abducted, serial killers. No, just don't bring your ass back in this house. Now fast forward, we have kids, and all of a sudden these grandbabies got y'all soft as baby shit. They can't do no wrong. My kids could literally shove a broom up a cat's ass. I go to get on to them. My grandma, don't you say nothing to them babies. They just expressing their feelings. Meanwhile, we weren't allowed to have feelings with a kid. The only time we could feel anything is when you was tearing our ass up with a belt or a hickory. Them babies can have anything they want. We couldn't even have nothing. Y'all are fake. Y'all are so fake.
Isn't he?
He's a woo.
Yeah, that's a good friend of mine,
Oh, is he
Udi.
wrong?
Yep. No, he's spot on. It's so true.
He is. I mean, I know, because I get my grandkids, my kids. What about me? You're a grown dog. Get out of here. Scam. All right, guys. One of our favorite segments is coming up now. I'm going to apologize right now for the stupidity you're about to hear coming out of Kyle's mouth. It ain't Kyle's fault. He didn't write this. Okay, these are true, actual stories that he came up with, and quite frankly, I'm appalled at society. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you big dummy of the week, Kyle. Let it out, sir.
I apologize. This is not on me. You can blame the state of Florida for this one yet again.
Oh, here we go.
So imagine, if you will, you and your partner, you're a cop, you get called to a domestic disturbance at somebody's apartment. So you and your partner head up, you knock on the door, you're hearing yelling and everything. You're saying, police, is everything okay? Do we need to come in? Well, then all of a sudden you hear screams. So you go in the door because you heard a woman screaming. Well, upon entering said room of apartment, you happen upon a man and a woman in a highly disputed argument. Well, it keeps getting louder and louder, and it's going on and on. Well, then the man finally realizes, oh shit, it's the cops. He hauls ass into the other room. On his way to hauling ass to the other room in the 2-bedroom apartment, he went real far. He is tased. But on his way to the other room, he decides to stop and grab his partner, his wife, or his girlfriend, however you want to call it. It doesn't say in this article. Her prized ball python. Yes, I said ball python. And
I know where you're going. Don't.
This dumb SOB bit the head off the damn thing. So he's taken into custody for resisting an officer with violence, false imprisonment, and animal cruelty. Oh,
He'll
and
show
just to
her.
let y'all know, this happened in Miami. So cocaine's one hell of a drug.
Dade County, yeah.
Holy cow.
So what do you just get in watching an Ozzy Osbourne video or something, and somebody's
He-
going to do the same thing?
When you look at his picture,
No.
oh, I mean,
Yeah, that would take some work. You know,
and
that
it's a
takes some
ball
work.
python. Yeah, because, yeah. Whew.
Not gonna say anything about his lifestyle, but maybe he likes snakes in his mouth.
No pun intended.
No, it's intended.
You know he's got all his teeth up front though.
Yeah. Cocaine, that's right, Roy.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
All
you
right.
can't bite a head of a snake off on the side of the mouth.
That, my friends, was another dummy of the week.
It's going to be a good story when it starts with Ferdinand.
A lot of these have been Florida guys. Of course, we had a Texas guy who liked to tickle people's bungholes as he's ripping.
Yeah,
junk.
when he robbed
And only
robbed
the
your
male. He
place,
only took the male bung.
he only tickled the male bunghole. And then my other favorite one I've done
Well,
is the guy that
at least he's
had
considerate.
to
He's gonna reach for it.
he had to fiercely whack his pud in the middle of a bar while being tased, and woke up the next day in jail and didn't know how he got there, and said meth
Oh my
does wonders for you. He was tased over 15 times. He beat that thing like it owed him money.
I'm surprised he didn't rip it out at the stem.
Well, the article didn't say that.
No, it didn't say
Well, I don't- Yeah.
didn't say that
All right.
Sheena wasn't a man anymore.
Here's one about this came out many years ago. Chris Rock wants to tell you about whether or not some things you might want to know. Okay, it's kind of funny video.
Face with a police officer and wondered, is he about to kick my ass? Well, wonder no more. If you follow these easy tips, you'll be fine. First, obey the law. Laws were made for a reason. Think of them as hints. You've heard people say, man, I wouldn't do that shit if I was you. Well, here's some of that shit. Carjacking, armed robbery, arson, selling drugs, buying drugs, stabbing, shooting. You know, you probably won't get your ass kicked if you just use common sense. If you jump a subway turnstile, you might just get off with a warning from the police. But if you jump a turnstile carrying a loaded gun and smoking a joint, then maybe you need your ass kicked. Follow this simple tip. When you see flashing police lights in your mirror, stop immediately. Here's a no-brainer. If you're listening to loud rap music, turn that shit off. Blasting "fuck the police" while you're getting pulled over by the police is just ignorant. When an officer approaches your car, be polite.
Is there a problem, officer?
And stay in your car with your hands on the wheel.
What the fuck you want, motherfucker?
Want to give a friend a ride? Not so fast. Your friend might be crazy. Now, before you let your friend in your car, ask them these questions. Do you have a gun? Do you have drugs? Do you have any warrants? And in case you do get pulled over by the cops,
License and registration, please.
remind your friend to do this one thing. Shut the fuck up.
Man, don't give him shit. What the fuck you want?
Here's a tip you should never forget. If your woman is mad at you, leave her at home. Because a mad woman will say anything.
He got weed! He got weed!
If your woman is mad at you, there's nothing she'd like to see more than you getting your ass kicked. Now let's review. Obey the law. Use common sense. Stop immediately. Turn that shit off. Be polite. Shut the fuck up. And last but not least, don't ride with a mad woman. If you follow these simple pointers, you probably won't get your ass kicked by the police.
Sadly. Of course, I've been my ass about a cops for nothing. Asshole. Oh. Leroy. The only black guy in there right now comment, he's dying. Yeah. Chris Rock, hey, buddy. I can't, man. All right.
I'm amazed that he hasn't been canceled yet for the stuff that he says.
Oh, he has, but he's changed the way he does it. Dave Chappelle, I love that guy, man. I appreciate him. What he says, we don't say. It doesn't matter what I think about that. I appreciate it because he ain't giving in. He's going to do him. Okay, I don't want you to change because I don't like you. I learned a little trick when I was a kid. I don't like you. Guess what I'm not going to do? I'm not going to talk to you.
It's easy. Isn't it?
Somebody might like you though. You might help somebody, but you're an important person and you needed. So I learned a long ago to turn the fucking channel.
Pretty easy.
Don't care. I ain't gonna lie. I'm transparent. I didn't like to see men kissing on TV. I see that. I turn the channel.
Yep.
I didn't write a letter to have them banned.
Right.
Don't care.
I don't have to watch it.
I've never seen the movie Brokeback Mountain.
No.
Never. I'm not on here dogging anybody. It's not what I'm doing.
I hear it's a good movie.
Personally, it had some great stars in it from what I heard.
Right.
Made a lot of money. Personally, I'm not watching it. Don't have to. Don't make me.
Yep.
On the same token, I'm not going to tell Devil Doc or you not to watch it. You want to watch it? Go watch it. Do you? That's where we're twisted in this country. That's what we forget. You got what I do. No, don't. I don't have the right to call you all kind of names because you do what you want to, but I don't have to support you. Right. I'll tolerate you. Don't support you.
Correct.
It's like you don't want to come to my comedy show and support my comedy. That's certainly on you. I'm not going to go to your house and whip your ass because then I'm wrong.
Right.
I'm going to go to jail for that. But if you don't want to come, somebody should be telling you, hey, don't go see him. Don't go see him. You can't go. Yeah.
And I'm not going to shut you down when I'm there because I disagree with you.
Well, shouldn't me down. I'm going to tell you something. There's two things. If you want me to get violent with you, spit on me, you're going to an ambulance. I'm going to tell you right. You spit on me, you're leaving. You're going to the hospital. And you shout me down, that it kicks up my PTSD. You're liable to get hurt. Because us veterans, we don't no. Okay, we don't be on me. So don't go. But Chris Rock though, that was jump a turnstile. No, jump turnstile, smoking weed, that's the gun. You need your ass.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. We're Heath Gilbert, Navy veteran, firefighter in the Navy. That's a pretty important task in the military, putting out fires. Okay, happened a lot. So we thank you for coming in. We're going to get back on some of his topics in just a second. I want to do this day in history. Okay. This day in history. And a lot of people have heard about this. Some of you don't. This day in history, Valentine's Day, which happy Valentine's Day to everybody out there. On Valentine's Day, 1929, on this day in 1929, in Chicago, a gunman in the suspected employment of organized crime boss Al Capone. Computer froze. There you go. So, Al Capone murdered 7 members of the George Bugs Moran Northsiders gang in a garage in the North Clark Street. So the so-called St. Valentine's Day Massacre stirred a media storm centered around on Capone and his illegal prohibition-era activities and motivated federal authorities to redouble their efforts to off the streets. Although, as we all know, that wasn't what got him. Okay, they couldn't get him for murder. They couldn't get him for anything except
tax evasion.
Tax evasion. I mean, yeah, tax evasion. Hard to believe. They pay their taxes. Wow.
They don't report that income.
Wow, you're that's shocking to me. I can't believe such things. All right, that was this day in history. All right, I'm just shocked by that.
Hey, Pimp, did you know that
It was also what brought us the.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I think that's what brought us the National Firearms Act too, where they started to restrict classifications of firearms and then the silencers because they used the Thompson machine guns.
Right, and it's also something because of that incident and a couple more. Is why they took a look at prohibition. Like, whoa, wait a minute. We can make more money
taxing it
and keep people safe by selling it than we can trying to police it.
Right.
Because it costs an enormous amount of money. Even back then, where money, it wasn't quite, that was a time when money was plentiful. Of course, then the Depression hit. But so it had some good things and some bad things. But it led to a lot of things. I'm going to go ahead, Doc.
And when he went to jail, FDR confiscated his car because it was bulletproof. He could ride around in his bulletproof Cadillac.
Really outstanding.
Yep.
I didn't know that.
That was nice of him. That's everybody. Yeah. So we're hey guys, I got a question for y'all. You guys write in and tell me. This ain't a trivia question because we got a guest today. So unless the guest has got a trivia question, we're going to skip that today. I'll use what is it as our entries. Tell me what comedian actor would you want to have to get your back in a bar fight? All right. And Heath, since you're a guest, brother, I'd like for you to go first on this question. Who?
Outstanding. John Candy.
John Candy.
Yes.
Okay.
Because he's great big and I could get behind him if I needed to. And I think he could diffuse just about any fight with his comedy. I love the man.
Oh, very funny guy.
Yeah.
And the girth on him. Something about him. Do you know he exercised 8 hours a day?
I did not know that.
Yeah. He died. Thyroid's what got him. He had thyroid problem. He wanted to be skinny. He was so athletic as a big man. It's unreal. I didn't know about it. I read about him.
Didn't know that either.
Yeah, he'd exercise all the time. He didn't look like he exercised a second.
No.
I promise you, he did. He did. He tried to lose weight. He actually tried. They tried everything on him.
Yeah, he looked like he removed the collard greens from his diet too.
Yeah. There wasn't no collard greens in his diet ever, ever. That's a good choice. I never would have even thought about him. All right, Doc, who you got?
Well, I got 2 people in mind. Old school, I'm going to go Bill Murray just because people love Bill Murray and he could probably get us out of a situation. New school, I'm going to go Ryan Reynolds because if it's a fight, somebody's probably going to fangirl over Ryan Reynolds and I'll just walk out the back door and steal their car.
Those are good choices. Mine, I'm picking mine kind of the same way reason you picked yours. If there's a bar fight, I'm probably the guy doing most of the fighting anyway. The celebrity probably have behind me. If I want somebody to get my back, Adam Sandler. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
He really, don't know if he can fight or not, but people see, Adam, hey, Adam, can I get an autograph? Hey, dude, give me a gun. When he's doing that, I'm handling a bit of stuff back. So, Adam Sandler. Had my friend said Jim Carrey. I got to think about that. Wait a minute. Which Jim Carrey you got? You got liar, Jim Carrey? Or do you got Ace Ventura?
Pet Detective Jim Carrey.
Because Pet Detective Jim Carrey, he threw some hands on that mascot. He worked that mascot pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay. So which one you want?
As long as it's not Cable Guy Jim Carrey.
Yeah, no, he'd be the guy getting he'd be the guy getting punched in his face. All right, guys, we're here with Heath Gilbert, outstanding gentleman. Glad I got affiliated with him through some friends. He's here talking about the school board. Let's talk a little more about that school board thing. Besides the drug testing, which is not fair, and you want me to bring it up to you so you wouldn't forget about the term fair.
Thank you.
Tell us about the fair part.
Okay. The Cameron School District does not have anything in place to conduct random drug testing on any of the staff. They hold the students to a higher standard, a higher level of expectation than they do their own staff. They don't test random the staff at all. So the football team, the players on the football team have to surrender their 14th Amendment due process protection to provide a urine sample on demand, and the coach team does not have the same requirements to submit to a random drug test to be able to coach those kids that are playing football. And it's not just football, it's every...
Right, all sports, right. So let me ask you a question. If he come, now we all know alcohol is legal. You can buy and drink it. Same way with marijuana now. It's legal. But we all know you can't come to work inebriated because your boss has a rule over that, right? So there's no drug test going on. How do they figure out someone, besides the odor of liquor, some liquor don't have a smell, drinking or maybe smoking, how do they test them for drugs if they're right there? They send them down to the police station? What do they do? Or do they do anything?
Well, they have again, here we go with a policy. They have a policy for the students and the staff that if they have reasonable suspicion that they are under the influence of drugs or alcohol, they have the ability to compel both a student or a staff member to submit to a test. And in the event that either a student or a staff member are to do it, they by policy automatically assume that you are under the influence of whatever they have said that they suspect. So in that instance, they are the same. But the random drug testing, there is no random drug testing for any of the staff.
I see. Huh.
So they're leading.
So it's kind of one of those rules of the
not for me.
Yeah, type things.
Yeah.
So okay. Where should we and what do we do now? What's the next steps we need to take? I know we're all getting together and forming a coalition. This could take years. Okay.
Agreed.
So what would you, Heath, like to see next? And by the way, I like your hat. Shout out to Levi Garrison and Sons. They sponsor a lot of what we do.
Outstanding.
So I appreciate you guys. So shout out to them. They sponsored the Warrior Fest for the last couple of years. So thank you to Levi Garrison.
Outstanding. Yeah, they make good beer.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Correct. Truly, we've got to get folks from the local community that become involved. We've got to get folks into the school board meetings. We've got to find members among us who share the ideas that the values that we have, and convince them to run for the board, and then get them elected in and hold them accountable. They have to make an oath of office when they're voted in. They have to swear to uphold the Constitution of Missouri and the Constitution of the United States. And I don't think our school board members are. They're in violation of their oath of office. We've got to hold them accountable.
And we're gonna have to do that. Not only is it going to take us, it's going to take celebrities. I mean, I know I'm a celebrity, but we're going to get other big celebrities, and especially ones that are from the state of Missouri.
Right.
Okay. in order, because they got a huge platform. Okay, so we need to get them involved. And, I'm sorry here, Dean Cerny. The public schools weren't created to make business owners. They were created to make good factory employees.
I can't disagree with that.
No. Now, one thing about Dean Cerny on here, and all the people on here, you ain't getting nothing by them. Okay, if they disagree, they'll tell you. They ain't gonna burn the car, flip the cars over, but they'll agree, disagree. But Dean Cerny, you can't get much by him and Roy and everybody on here. I'm seeing some people that you have a lot more, but I know it's during the week. We get big numbers during the week. Okay, because people go back and watch us.
Right on.
So. Put this where there's a gentleman on TikTok. I keep forgetting his name. Doc, you might know, you follow more than I do, who goes into these certain areas and he wants them to call the police. Okay. And he holds the police accountable. They said, we're going to arrest you. He goes, you can't arrest me. You can't even touch me unless I'm being lawfully detained. Am I being lawfully detained? They say, no, I can go on. Well, you got to stay here. Now, wait a minute. You can't do that. And he'll call their supervisor. And 9 out of 10 times, the supervisor comes down and says, bye, see ya. Lets him go.
He's a First Amendment auditor.
First Amendment auditor, yeah. There's one, and I've seen him go into the post office. Okay. Mm-hmm. And the post office, what people don't know is they're not understood. They have no, regular cops have no jurisdiction there.
It's federal property.
It's federal property. U.S. Marshal come in there, you're in trouble. Right. Okay. Listen to,
or the postal inspector.
Postal inspector, yeah. If you're interacting with them two come in, see you. Mm-hmm. Okay. But actually, a sheriff, which is sheriff has a jurisdiction from county, again, not federal. How would told nobody? And he does a lot of this stuff on about property and stuff like this. I haven't seen one where we need to do something like that. Whoever get together and do something like that to the school boards, to the schools, without frightening the kids. Okay, you don't want to scare the children.
Correct.
They have no idea what the hell's going on. They're just there to learn. They don't give a crap about a couple old guys with hats.
Correct.
Okay. But I think we need to do something like that. What do you think? You think that'll help out? And film it. You got to film it, or it's fraud.
Correct. And by the way, the school district has a policy that prohibits us from going in outside of basketball games, and they prohibit it. And that is where I say that they don't comply with. Can't legally prohibit us. Missouri is a one-party consent state when it comes to recording a conversation. So I can record a conversation with you and I don't have to let you know. The school policy and its policy infinitely familiar. It's making a conversation with any school employee. By their policy, I can't do it. And that does not comply with Missouri law, and it also doesn't comply with the First Amendment. The First Amendment, the freedom of the press, through cases such as the 11th Circuit case, the circuit court case, Smith versus Cummings, has established that not only do we have the right to record the police, we have the right to record any public official in the performance of their duty, particularly if it is of public interest. And the school district prohibits it.
And see, that's goes back to my question earlier. How are they getting away with this stuff? Who's policing the police? Okay. And the only thing I know about that law is this: if I'm filming you, or you're in an area, you have the right. You're in charge of you. You can say, "Hey, I don't want to be on film." You can't come slap the camera out of my hand. I'm not going to film anything I want.
Right.
But I can't film you. And if I can talk to you, I can come down and have a conversation. If you don't want to be filmed, you don't have to be filmed.
I'm going to challenge you a little bit on that.
All right, go ahead.
If we're in a public area, like the park across the street, if we're in the park public area, you have no expectation of privacy in public. Now, if I'm in your home and you tell me you don't want me to record you, you have an expectation of privacy in your home. And then in your scenario, you would absolutely be right. I can't record you.
Right. And that also extends to your car.
Yes.
Yeah, if you're sitting in your car, I can't be,
But if I'm standing outside of your car, it's kind of like the plain view doctrine for the police department.
Right.
They can stand outside of your car, they can look in and they can see you've got a shotgun in the floorboard. Because it's within their plain view, they can challenge you on that gun being in the car. If I'm standing outside of your car and I can see into, if I can see into the cop's car, anything that I can see inside the vehicle when I'm in a public space, I can record.
Right. And the law, it's kind of convoluted how they word all that, and they snake you around like Charlotte's Web. Here's another thing, though, people need to understand. I don't want to stray too far off topic. I don't want to give you time. But if you get pulled over by the police and he asks you if there's any weapons in the car, you say yes. You are no longer violating the law because you are not concealed carry anymore. It's not concealed. Once he knows about it, it's no longer hidden. I went to court on that, and I beat a case for that because the judge told the cop right there, he goes, you keep sending these people in here. It's not concealed weapon. Once you know about it, it's no longer concealed. Now, if I'm reaching for it,
back to Chris Rock then in that instance.
yeah, you need your ass whipped.
Right.
But if I pull up there and he said, you got anything in the car? Yes. Where's it at? Over in my thing. Don't reach for it. Or if it's in a glove box, don't reach for it.
Right.
Okay. As long as you got your hand on the wheel, you're fine. You're allowed to have guns.
Yes.
You knives.
Yes.
I got all of them, right? Now, and here's another piece of tip for one. Do not register yourself as a lethal weapon. Don't do it. Okay. You don't want nobody to know what you know. You want them to guess what you know and have to prove it. Don't admit it. If something happens, you're the first person they come to. Somebody gets their ass whipped uptown, see a body there. Who are they gonna go to? Heath Gilbert, because he said, I said, I'm a register. Don't do that. It's like if you put a beware dog sign in your yard. Right. You're already admitting that dog has potential to bite.
Right.
I don't want you to think that. Why don't you come on in if you're not supposed to be? Come on in there. You're limping out, So there's a couple other things too, the way the law twists. Yeah, it's no longer a concealed weapon. Have a cop at you and you tell him what you have. It's no longer concealed. It's not hidden. You're not keeping secrets from it.
Right.
So I want everybody to understand that too, because a lot of people don't know that. Right. And by the way, in some states, including Missouri, there's no such thing as a 5-mile-an-hour speed limit law. Okay. Because if you get a ticket that says 0 to 5, it's got a penalty phase. It's got money you got to pay from 0 to 5.
Right.
So there's no such thing. I got 5 miles over speed limit. No. No. If the cop's in a bad mood, you're speeding. There you go. Anyway. So those are all, everything's been said. Filming it, and since you have the right to do that, we need to do stuff like this.
Correct.
And I'm not saying do it out of meanness, not at all. But then what else we got? They've put these policies in place, right? Where we can't do anything, or they'll throw it. So we need to challenge it. It's going to take somebody who's not scared of the law coming down and say, "Hey,
the law's not going to do anything because you are well within your right to do it."
Right. Well, some cities, they get backed. Some police forces are so crooked, they'll back these stupid policies. And that's wrong. Then you got to spend money and go to court. Yeah, you might win, but you're out that money for the judge, you got that money for the attorney. So you got to get everybody involved. When I tell people the law is crooked, I just don't mean there's crooked cops. The prosecutors.
Judges.
Crooked judges.
Crooked judges. There's crooked. Sorry. Yeah, judges. Yeah, is what he said. In the state of Missouri, there's a law that says they cannot turn your power off if it's below 32 degrees for a 24-hour period. That's a law. You can look it up. You can type right in and look it yourselves.
Okay.
They do it anyway. They say why. Now they say, well, there's another law, which I hadn't seen it yet, but they said there's another law where co-ops, which all the power companies now are called co-ops, like policy. Co-ops are exempt from that rule.
Are they saying they're not a public utility?
That's what they're saying. They're a co-op. But it doesn't say in the law, public utilities. It says your power can't be turned off in the state of Missouri if it's below 32 degrees for a 24-hour period. It don't say who can do it, who can't do it.
Right.
But they do that. So they made a law to counter that.
Right.
I had a politician tell me that one day. I said, well, I'm going to tell you something. Come to my yard and try it. I live deep in the country. I'm just saying. So how they go by doing these laws? Like, for example, if you get arrested for receiving stolen property and you're the third guy down the line, you didn't know the property was stolen at all.
Right.
They can arrest you, throw you in jail, take the property. You're out that property, you're out that money, and you're also in jail. And you're going to be out that money for bail and all this crap.
And the burden's on you to
prove that you
didn't know.
That is stupid. If they get the guy that stole it, that should be it.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
The laws in this country need to be changed. And they're not. They're sitting on these books. Every year politicians run for office. They never say anything. They don't talk about your Social Security. They talk about what they're going to do for the veterans. They talk about all these things. I don't really care about all that shit. Get involved in the community. Help these people out. Why do we got to pay a woman who sits at a city hall to make copies? That's her job. Or him, male or female, a person. That's their job to make copies. Charge me 25 cents, whatever it is for the ink, right? That's your job. It's in your job description. You will make copies. That's what the copy is there.
Right.
You know, things like this, brother. It's things like this.
I feel your frustration, and I don't know the answer to it, but it seems that when they get elected into office, they have to put a peg in a wall that they can hang their hat on. Say, I did this. And they have a law that's outdated and needs to be changed. They've got to write a new law.
Yeah.
And then we add another law to the books, and there's so many laws that we can't keep track of them anymore. And
if you actually obeyed every single law, you'd never be able to come out of your house. You'd never be able to pay your bills. According to some laws.
You wouldn't be able to have sex.
Think about it. Oh, that's already
that's criminal.
That's already in some states becoming a mystical thing anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a bad time. It really is. Again, what are we going to do? No one seems to care. Our elected officials, Heath, are not talking about school boards.
No.
They're up there talking about stupid COVID lines, which was the biggest sham in the United States ever, on the world, ever invented this COVID thing.
Correct.
Talking about a vaccine who doesn't stop COVID. They're still on the news saying prevention of COVID-19.
And it doesn't.
It doesn't. And Facebook, don't get mad and ban me for what I'm saying. That's the truth. It hadn't stopped COVID at all.
No.
Right. I know guys that are 5 deep. 5 deep.
In the boosters?
In the boosters, 5 deep. You know, because they're scared.
You ain't dead till you fully vaxxed.
Mm.
You know,
they're going to be pickled when they're done with all those boosters, aren't they?
Yeah, and well, now you got Hollywood celebrities, heart problems, healthy people,
athletes,
professional athletes that are dropping dead.
That's another entity. Let's take the NFL for example. NFL had policy, well, all their athletes had to be vaxxed. If they didn't, they made it real hard on them to play the game.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. Some of them opted out. You know, now they took it. Some of these guys are falling down. You know, they don't know why. The Buffalo Bills guy, they say is over a hit. He's young. He plays football. He's used to hitting people. What did he fall down for? I'm just saying. I'm not putting that out there.
And I don't trust that they would tell us if they did know.
Oh,
That's
no.
what it was.
No,
They're not
no.
going to admit to it.
No. And Aaron Rodgers, whether you're a fan of Aaron Rodgers or not, he tried to play a word game with him. You know, something about it's his religious or something. Remember when I talking about Doc? Is his religion to get it?
Yeah.
Oh, I've been vaccinated or something like that.
He said
He
he
didn't
was
say he had the vaccine.
vaccinated,
I've been vaccinated.
but he was vaccinated.
Yeah. Yeah. And so instead of
And
telling
they
him,
went this
whatever.
way with it. Oh, you lied. You didn't do that. You
Right.
Hey, didn't mean I never shot anybody. I just didn't shoot that person.
Trust me. Trust me. He got the money. Okay. So they asked him, and he said he's going to get into it. He's not going to get into it. Yeah, he also said that too. He's not going to get into it. So, anyway, you guys were here with Heath Gilbert, a friend of the WO radio show. I'm going to tell you this, brother. You have a platform now. Anytime you want to, just hit me up. Let me know.
Thank you.
Come here and talk about whatever it is you want to talk about, because I know you're trying to help out people, families, veteran, non-veteran. Don't make a difference to you.
Yep.
You got anything else coming up that you're trying to worry about as well? Trying to get them notice, trying to get people to notice.
Oh, there are several different policies at the Cameron School District that are going to be throughout the state of Missouri. Somebody I saw in the comments earlier that was talking about the pornographic material that they're introducing to the school districts, and it was a name
Dean Cerny. But I'll go back and find it for you.
So I started looking into this with all the different policies that I'm going through with the school district. And I found the Lee Summit School District. There is a group of concerned citizens down there, and they have found 50 textbooks within the specific in nature. And they have shared this list, and they share links so that you can read the description of what is in the text. And they have material. They have a story that a man is retelling. He is fantasizing about molesting a young girl while she was sitting at a stove. And they have retelling of violent rapes that are very, very graphic, not just a quick 80,000 feet overview of describing a rape that occurred, just to kind of let you understand the narrative of the story. Mm-hmm. They're going into details with these rapes.
Right.
It's absolutely disgusting. And
it is. Right here, he said, but they allowed child porn. Elementary students have banned 44,000 accounts with child porn on them. They need to ban every damn one of them. Sir. Here's the thing: you might have heard this, you might not. Some people have heard this, some people haven't. Here in Missouri, I could take you to a couple. We'll get you in the facility, but they have what they call these pedophile villages. Okay, got people to move there, men and women. They move here. Okay, they talk about it, their lifestyles about it. They get online, share their studies. I guess that's disgusting, and they're not being held accountable. People know where they are. Okay. Think about that a second. People are like, well, it doesn't exist. Hold on, man. What is the government did about the child sex trafficking in this country?
Nothing.
What have you heard about
They've
that?
encouraged it by allowing the border to be porous.
That, the way that the transgender people are, their rhetoric. Okay, right. I don't mean gay men. I mean rhetoric. Gay men, like, they're in the men. If you're in a man, you're okay. I won't tolerate being a kid.
Right.
It's just nasty, disgusting. Religious or not, the good book says. Forgive me, Great Spirit. The good book says, if you harm or offend a child in that nature, it'd be better if you wasn't even born. They should tie a millstone around your neck and throw you in the water.
Right.
Yeah, I hope I got that close.
Yep.
What I'm saying. There you go. Do you hear that, devil dog? I got it. Woo, yeah, I get it.
One try too.
But there's people live like it, and you can tell that because they're doing nothing. Thank you. They're doing nothing about it. But yet, your drinking rights. In fact, if you got to take a vaccination, you got a magazine on a round, more than 30 ammo rounds. Even though you earn the money to buy these things, if you earn the money to legally buy them, you should have any damn thing you want within. As long as you ain't shoot up some school, then you're a dumbass. You don't get nothing, and you should be shot. My opinion. A cop rolls up, sees that guy shooting, shoot him.
Yeah,
just shoot him.
Yep,
he deserves it. Man, I slipped. Trigger finger. Sorry. 12 people ain't gonna convict you.
No,
I'm sorry to say it like that.
I agree.
12 people ain't gonna convict you for submitting a child. Matter of fact, it'd be somebody on there be like, "Hey, stand up and applaud right in the freaking courtroom."
Right.
Okay? But they're doing
slow
nothing.
clap too.
So when I heard these villages, I'm thinking, yeah, golf clap, strategy. Yeah. So when I heard about these villages, I got to do a little research, and I found out that there is type of thing. I didn't find out where they are or anything like that, but there is these type of organizations online that, know their rights. Okay. They're pushing for rights to run out in public as a kid. As long as they can bring them back when they're done with them, it shouldn't be counted as kidnapping. Excuse me, that's the very definition
of kidnapping.
Yeah. Okay. I'm a victim. The reason I'm this size, because I want somebody to try to molest me. All the martial arts I learned, all the knives I learned in the Marine Corps, all that stuff, please try it. You won't have to worry about going to court. I've earned the right to say that. You try to molest me, you ain't going to court.
Fair enough.
You'd be visiting your family on visitation night.
That's nature's law, isn't it?
Well, but no, because I'm labeled as the bad guy and a hardcore cage fighter who's too aggressive, Marine who's too aggressive. You see that? You see where we're at?
Yeah, I'm not walking in the shoes with them. I don't agree.
No, I don't either. And Devil Dog don't. I know all these guys on here that don't agree. They don't agree the same thing. But that's what it is. It was. It's not true. They're doing these men and these women who escape. They tell you the elaborate stories. They tell you most of them are mobile. They go from state to state. They kidnap in one state and take you to another one and keep moving.
Right.
They're giving you the playbook.
Right.
It'd be like me taking over for Andy Reid. Andy Reid said, "Here's my playbook. Do your thing." It's only logical that I do the same thing Andy Reid did. I win a championship.
Yeah.
Doing his way, right?
Yeah.
The victims are giving you a playbook. How many big time arrests have you read about?
Not a one.
Don't tell me there's these little people. One or two guys get arrested a month.
I take that back. Have a little bit going on in Florida.
Yeah, with Sheriff Grady Judd.
Several. Yes.
And DeSantos, if he was on a ticket to be Vice President Trump, I'd vote for his ass in there too. I'd vote for him for president.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Not against Trump. I'm Trump first. However, if DeSantos runs, he's got all my vote.
Yeah, I get it.
But again, what he did, why is it so long? Why is it taking so long? This nasty thing has been going around for eons. Didn't the Bible, and I don't know how much the Bible you guys believe, whatever, but didn't God destroy a city because that type of filth was going on? Not just homosexuality. I hear that all the time. That wasn't that solely what that's about. That's about how they treated their kids.
Right.
What they were doing. He turned them into salt. Now, I don't know about you, but that's pretty. Woo. I'm not trying to get biblical on here, offend some of our viewers. We love all you guys on here. I'm just saying there's a giant disconnect in this country about laws. Okay. Not policies, laws.
Mm-hmm.
People forcing them, people not forcing them. We all need to get together and figure something out. I'm not saying storm the Capitol building or riot or anything like that. But damn it. Where are we at?
Rich, I truly believe that the answer to this problem has to start in your backyard. You've got to talk to your neighbor. You've got to go in and speak with your community. You've got to be involved at the school board, at the city council, at the alderman for the counties. You've got to be involved in your local community.
And the reason for that, the school, you need to take a stand at the school because this. Besides the parents, the school is the second most thing our kids pay attention to. When it comes to growing up and how to act,
Right.
It's from that damn school. They got our kids 7-8 hours a day. And grandkids, at my point, 7-8 hours a day. They got the kids. What they tell these people, what they tell the kids, they're going to resonate because time we get it for another 8 hours, and then you usually go to bed and get up and start the whole cycle again.
Right.
So we got a 50% a day. Schools get 50% a day. Take away summertime. We get them there.
Yep.
Parents are working, babysitters got them. But it's us. We need to start the schools and get this shit cleaned up now. So little Johnny hadn't grown up thinking he can get mad, go buy a gun he shouldn't have. That FBI dropped the ball on. The FBI dropped the ball a lot on that issue.
Yeah.
Go down here and shoot up some Park Elementary School because he didn't get his way.
Right. Yep. And
it starts with us. It starts every bit with the parents. It absolutely does. It starts with the parents. And I'm not saying, and listen, there's dads that go in and beat their kids. You're stupid kids.
Agreed.
But if you're going and teaching your kids how to act, and your wife's teaching the kids how to act, and the moms are, right? And then they go to school and they're telling them, they're counteracting what we say. We're not accomplishing shit.
Correct.
And that's exactly what's going on right now.
Correct. And they're not teaching our children the same things that I learned when I was in school. They don't teach them what a right is, what to do.
Cursive, a lot of them lacking basic skills. On here, another out of Ohio, love him to death. He's one of our main fans. He said, bring back shop class.
Right.
Okay. I didn't even know they didn't have shop class. I wasn't aware they didn't have that. That's a life skill.
Home ec too. I don't think they have home ec.
No, because they
removed home ec.
I heard somebody say they're biased. No, it's not. There's men that need to cook.
I didn't get this size because I wasn't cooking a meal.
Yeah. You want something cleaned up? No one's around. Guess who's going to clean it up? You. Clean up your damn mess.
Right.
I don't need home ec for you. Oh, yeah. Now it's starting to bleed over into the military.
Oh, God, yes.
Now this president's making our military soft.
Yes.
When I was in the military, every day we trained martial arts. We ran somewhere. We learned in the Marine Corps at that time. We had the second deadliest martial arts ever invented to man. Okay, line training. Okay, it was only way to get proficient at that was practice it. Right. Every day we did that. We got so proficient at it, you don't want to mess with us. Now my son-in-law, who just got out of the army, big red one. He's proud of the big red one. I asked him. He said, "Hey, Dad, won't you teach me some of that martial arts?" I said, "You don't teach you in the military?" He goes, "No." I said, "You mean tell me you lose your gun?" He said, "Lose my gun? I guess I'm gonna have to tell him jokes." I said, "Well, how do you learn in there?" He says, "I got to fill out a chit, turn in a chit to learn hand-to-hand combat." We learn that shit in our sleep. We learn so much of it. We go to bed thinking about front kick, sweep the bottom, catch the nose.
And you started with that before you went to firearms.
Yes.
It's fundamental.
Yes.
You have to start with it. The basic ground floor, entry level. That's where you begin.
You know, Dean, let's see. That's what it further. I'm sorry, Dean, that you already talked about that. Yeah. So this government is making it now. They're holding up the veterans. And I know we're getting short on time here. I just want to talk about this. Now, everybody that was kicked out of the military for not being vaccinated, for not getting that shot, has the option to come back in, or they get paid all that money.
Right.
Now, if you were getting ready to be lieutenant, for example, or let's say you're enlisted man, you're getting ready to be staff sergeant, and you were a corporal, that's a big ass jump.
Correct.
They're going to pay those people the raises that they would have got to get that rank in that a lot of time.
Right.
All this money they're supposed to pay it out of their budget. The Supreme Court said yes. The Pentagon said no. It's now out of stalemate about the money. Listen, if they'd had some nuts, they wouldn't be paying all that anyway.
Right.
When I was in the military, they trumped everything. They did what they wanted to do.
Right.
When they get soft.
They've been doing it since Clinton, so far as I'm concerned, and it's only got progressively worse.
I heard people say, "Well, they let gays in." Shut up with that. That has nothing to do with nothing. Shut up with that.
No.
Somebody's lifestyle makes no difference. This is policies for the idiots above.
Correct.
I mean, there's gay people that got kicked out for the vaccination.
Correct.
So it wasn't their damn fault.
Correct. It had nothing to do.
So if you have to thinking that way, if you have that thought, let it go, because that means nothing. Okay.
Those that were getting kicked out are generally those that have a religious background that they strongly believe in, and they're more conservative.
Right. So we're doing. Now, I didn't get vaccinated at all. That's my choice.
Yep.
Did I finally get it? Yeah, Omicron. Finally, I got it. I'm going to tell you something. I've had food poisoning worse than the
Right.
The one thing I did get from it, it's because I'm prone to get it. I got busy from it. I had Bell palsy 2018 on this side of my face from a virus or something they didn't know. Right. It was real bad on this side. It looked like a damn bloodhound. Okay. You can go back and see my old videos. I was trying like hell to show it. I had a weird ass eye patch. Anyway, then I got on this side. That was a lot quicker. But I got it from that. So COVID gave me that. Okay.
Right.
Now, I could have got that any virus. So it doesn't mean that was COVID. It just had to be coincidental.
Just happened to be that
Right.
one.
But I'm fine. What I did, they said, now the doctor told me, they said, you got an immune system off the charts because I didn't kill it.
Right.
I'll let it go on its own.
Right.
Plus, me being native, I may or may not and got a natural.
Gotcha.
Just saying. I'm not saying that cures COVID, what I'm saying. But I did things different than somebody else would do.
Right.
So that's where we're at. Keith, didn't mean to take up a lot of time. Brother, appreciate you coming in. I'm going to do one of our things we're going to do on here. Missing persons. Okay. I started this last year, about halfway, and it's got a lot of traction. Okay. People love this thing. It helps out everybody. A lot of people have a family that are missing. This one's out of Ohio. This is up around our buddy Dean Cerny's area. So, well, we're having problems here. But, There you go. And I hope I say his last name right. Jason Lyral. Okay. Here's some of here's what it looks like. Looks like you might have a religious affiliation of some sort. All right. Dates used. March 17th, 1980 is when he was born. Birthplace, Cincinnati, Ohio. Hair brown, eyes blue, height 5'6". Don't he look a little taller than 5'6"? 5'6".
Just a
Weight
little.
160 pounds. Just a little. Yeah, male. His race is white. He's American. Scars and marks. He has a tattoo of the words cross. You see that in the picture. 1/11/12 on his right forearm, and a tattoo of an iron cross on the side of his right bicep. Okay. The FBI is offering a reward of $30,000 for the information leading to the location and recovery of Jason. The FBI in Arkansas is seeking information regarding the disappearance of Jason, last seen between the area of Caps Ranch Road and Benton County, Arkansas, and County Road 1101 in Madison County, Arkansas, around January 25th, 2022. Okay, it's been past a year now. After Leary's disappearance, some of his belongings were recovered by law enforcement in the following location: Fayetteville, Arkansas, Benton County, Arkansas, Madison County, Arkansas, Eagle Rock, Missouri. If you have any information concerning this case, please contact the FBI in Little Rock at 501-221-9100 for your local FBI office or the nearest American embassy or consulate, or you can submit a tip online, tips.fbi.gov, field office Little Rock. All your tips are anonymous. So you can look at him one more time, guys. I might have had him on here before, but so what? You know, it's a family need closure. So there we go. That's our missing persons for today. So we're getting down to the last 12 minutes. Heath, man, hey, first of all, I never met you until I heard about you from Travis and Vince. Mm-hmm. Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
We put on comedy shows and stuff to combat sadness. 22 of our brothers and sisters every day commit suicide. And that record, that thing's expanded now up to 45 because now they got it categorized for Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine, Coast Guard, first responders that are in there, right? Different sections like that. And then you add in the veterans. Okay. 22 of our brothers and sisters every day.
It's tragic.
That's a sad stat. We're not doing our job. I'm trying hard.
Correct.
I'm failing. I believe if you combat sadness with laughter, you ain't crying. You ain't crying. And so we try to make people laugh on here. We put on comedy shows all over the United States, all over Missouri. So opportunity arises. You're able to come to one. Put your butt in the seat, and I promise you, we'll make you laugh.
I'll start listening.
I'll do some of my Pat Mahomes does. If you think I can't do Pat Mahomes good, ask this man right here. He was listening to Pat Mahomes talk and won the Super Bowl, and he texted me because, damn, that sounds eerily like Pimp.
Doc's grin kind of tells the story there, don't it?
Am I lying, Doc? Did you text me?
Nope. Yeah, I did. He started talking. I'm like, that's fucking Pimp talking. What the hell?
I told him I was able to do it, but until you heard him talk, like, and my wife was laughing her butt off at Devil Dog. She goes, he's never heard you do it. I said, no, he's heard me do it, but I don't think he's heard Pat Mahomes go on and do that. He's got to ramble when he talks real quick and fast.
Yeah.
Shit, that's perfect.
When he starts doing that Texas ramble, I'm just like, wait, Pimp did that the other. Wait, what?
You know what? I'm glad to be here today, and we won the Super Bowl. And I tell you what, it is. Hey, Andy Reid's the man. Outstanding. 10 minutes left in the show. Guys, thank you for tuning in and joining us, man. Share this out. Share it out to your friends and stuff. They come back and watch it after hours. I like watching the numbers grow during the week, the previous show. It lets us know what we need to talk about, what we need to cover. We got good hosts that come on here. Give their life stories, man. They're passionate about what they do. They're passionate. Be passionate with them. We can't do this single. We got to have help. We need people. We need people. I'm not asking you to pull up ball bats and storm the front, but grab a verbal ball bat.
Yes.
Yep.
Use your verbal judo. Okay, very powerful. Okay, tell the truth. Don't lie. Don't be delusional shit, but tell the facts. Okay, they've been violating the Constitution for a long time. Schools have state constitutions also. They've been violating all that big policy work. Okay, y'all know what I'm talking about. So all of you on here have ran across that very thing before. Not just school boards, license bureau, churches. No matter where you ran, you've run across that policy thing that you know is absolutely full of crap. Okay, can't do it. Only way we're gonna take this country back, guys, is getting people involved, getting from top down. Right now, the top is kind of they're in on this crap. Okay, but that's how we're gonna do it. We need everybody to get together. I'm using my platform. You know, I got a YouTube platform. I got a Facebook platform. I'm on TikTok. Go on TikTok and go Redneck Pimp 101. Redneck Pimp 101 on TikTok. You see some of my goofy ass videos, half unshaved, hair ain't combed. I don't care. I don't care. It's me. You know, making jokes on there. So get on there. Heath, is there anywhere so people can get a hold of you or see what your message is?
I'm not on any social media yet. I am, but I'm not doing this on social media yet.
Okay.
And at some point, maybe we will. If you are in the community, Travis Eldridge, you mentioned him. He can help put you in contact with me. Or you can see me as soon as I'm banned from school property now, but I'll be going to the school board meetings again starting in March. And I will be there and folks can meet me there. I know that there are other families out there that have issue with the school district. They have gone head to head with them and they've just walked away from it because they felt like they were talking with people that had their heads in the sand. Those are the folks that I want to hear from. I want to talk to those folks and grow a coalition, do our own town hall meeting where we are meeting so that we can let the community know what's going on in our schools, what's going on with our school district, and see if we can't have some change peacefully, as you indicated earlier. Getting angry and threatening is not going to do it. We have to be calm. We have to come forward with a concise message of what we expect from our elected officials.
Long overdue.
Way long overdue. I agree.
Not just the school board. Any time we get elected official, they think they got power over you. Let me be clear, ladies and gentlemen. If they're elected official, they work for us.
Yes.
By you paying your taxes, you're paying their salary. I know they get tired of hearing that. I don't give a rat's ass if they're tired of hearing that. That's facts.
Correct.
They work for us. Imagine the foreman or the superintendent or whoever of Coke Company, going into the owner of Coke, you kiss my ass. I ain't putting on the ingredients. He'd be fired.
Yes.
Why are we letting it go on? They work for us.
That's a really good question.
Cops beating us up when they're not supposed to. School board is not functioning. We need to revamp this whole system. This whole system sucks, and we need everything.
Yes.
Now, I'm not a guy that says we ought to throw out the Constitution and build another one.
No.
Although I think there's some things to the Constitution that need to be altered, maybe added. Okay. But I don't think you'll never hear me say scrap the Constitution.
Never.
I'm not a guy that says scrap the Constitution. You know, me being Native American, I understand how the government could screw somebody. I'm well aware. All right. Being an outlaw redneck, I'm well aware. It takes everybody, guys. Get on board. Okay. Time for our closing thoughts. Double Duck, lead us off.
Like I always say, you got to check on your people, reach out to them, especially your strong ones or the ones that are usually quiet. If you do happen to have somebody that trusts you enough to reach out to you, remember, let that person vent. Don't try and fix them. Don't offer a solution. Just listen. The more you listen, the more he's going to feel better or she's going to feel better. When that person's done, be like, hey, I'll be in the area. Let's go get a cup of coffee. Let's go take a walk. That'd be the only solution to offer. Don't fix it. Just listen. Right. They need that.
Absolutely.
Other than that,
absolutely.
I will see you all Saturday on the bar and Sunday for sports church. Oh, and Thursday because I'll be with Roy.
Okay, you're going to be on Roy Anthony Show. This coming Thursday, 12 Central. Kyle will be on Roy Anthony Show, 12 Central. Look him up, guys. Look him up. Ronaldo. All right, this is the final. What is it? No one has guessed it. I'm going to tell you what this is. Let's see if it pops up. There you go.
Can I take a guess?
Yes, sir.
Looks like turkey tracks in the snow.
No, it is tracks, but not turkey. The answer is quail tracks. Or the cat tracks. White tracks. Northern bobwhite tracks. That's quail. Quail track.
Man,
that was a pretty good one.
I said that 3 weeks ago. Man.
That I go 3 weeks on it. If nobody guesses him, I retire him. I might bring him back later. I might not. Next week, we'll have a brand new, what is it? Brand new, what is it? They just in the box. Whoever gets the most entries, well, whoever gets their name drawn out of the mystery box wins it. So they got 100 chances for that. Heath, you want to kind of close out here before I do mine? You got anything you want?
Have served and are no longer in. Your mission's not done, brothers and sisters. We still need good folks to ensure and protect the rights that are granted to us under the Constitution. We've enjoyed these privileges. With these privileges come responsibility. And I am one of those that has taken those privileges for granted. I am stepping up now, and I'm taking on the responsibility for the freedoms that I enjoy. And I ask that other folks do the same.
Pretty clear cut. Pretty clear cut. Well, first I want to say congratulations to my Kansas City Chiefs. All y'all can continue whining, whatever you want to whine. The referees made some calls. Both ways it was bad. The field was terrible. The field was absolutely terrible. But it was still, the numbers say it's one of the greatest Super Bowls ever played.
Two great teams.
Two black quarterbacks played their butts off. Either one of them could have won MVP. No doubt about that. In the end, Chiefs won. It's over now. Football's over. Now we got other things got to get going on that. So I'll be keeping you all informed about the draft and all this stuff. Draft is in Kansas City, Missouri this year, by the way. Okay. Kansas City, Missouri. That's where it is this year. All right, guys. I say it every week. I mean what I say. I say it when I'm on Sports Church on the VRS network, or if I'm on ever make an appearance on BV Nation, I say it, and I say it on here all the time. You are not worthless. You have value. Somebody loves you. You have a specific skill that no one else has that we need. Okay? Mechanic. Train somebody how to do martial arts. Gun instructors. Gun maker. Cane maker. Whatever it is that you do well. We need that. We don't like 22 a day. We can't have it. My shirt says it all right here. Stop veteran suicide. Stop all suicide. Hell, our teens in this country are 12 a day. Our teens haven't even got to life yet. They're just learning about life. Right? Look in on your teen. Look in on your veteran. Look in on your first responders. Cameron, Missouri had an officer commit suicide here not long ago. Last year, 2 years ago, maybe it was. They found him out at another park area in Caldwell County. Okay. We love you guys. On behalf of Devil Doc, on behalf of Commander who wasn't here, on behalf of our guest, Heath, I'm Richie Redneck Pimp, Bannock. Until we meet again. Ahoy, as we say in my native culture. Osta Usfi. We'll see y'all later. God bless each other. We're out.